Okay, the easiest way of me explaining hygiene and paint certification is just to take a quick look at this image, because if it was possible to magnify your paintwork, you'd actually see that the surface has got lots of tiny weeny little sort of holes, a bit sort of like the skin on your hand. You've got pores, can't see them, you know they're there. It's exactly the same with your paintwork. The problem with that being is that all sorts of external pollutants work their way into these little dips and grimes, and the worst culprit of all is salts and limescale. If you think about your shower windows at home, and you were to say splash some water on the sort of the shower glass, don't wipe it off, leave it for 24 hours until it's dried, and you'll see a tiny little watermark. Don't clean your shower windows for 3 years, and you know what the outcome will be. They'll all sort of be frosted over. It's exactly the same with the car. The salts and the limescale work their way into these dips, and you get something called calcification, where it hardens. That makes it much easier for the external grime and pollutants of using the vehicle on the road to grab onto your paintwork. Now when you come to clean it, it's really, really important to always wet and sort of jet wash the actual dirt and the grime off first, because if you don't and then you apply a sponge or you put those sort of whirly car wash brushes onto it, you get something called scratch swirls or cobwebbing, and it really does dull the paintwork and devalue the vehicle. What you also find, just as another element of protection, is that bird poo or bird lime pickles the paintwork because it's acidic, and you can see an example here in this image. So what we do is we take the vehicle away and we chemically cleanse it right down to the microscopic level within the paintwork, so it's bordering on surgically clean. Once it's been cleaned and it's properly protected, we then pop a protective polymer film across the surface that sort of renders it perfectly smooth and perfectly flat. It's a bit like a liquid glass. So then when the dirt and the grime tries to sort of penetrate into the lower levels of the paint, it can't do it because it's a dead flat surface. Okay, so once we've done stage 1, it does actually have a lifetime guarantee, but we've not tackled stage 2. Now stage 2 is all about the interior, and it's quite interesting really, because a few years back Top Gear did a survey on the average level of cleanliness on Great Britain's cars, and they found that they were more unhygienic than that of a public convenience. To be fair, they're not too far wrong, because if you think about it, what do? We walk on pavements, and what happens on pavements? Dogs foul pavements, people sort of spit on pavements. I'm not saying that you do, but we might tread where it's been, not necessarily in it. What do? Plonk our feet in our car. The average person in Great Britain cleans their car 23 times less than they would vacuum their property. We also eat in cars, drink in cars, and what you tend to find is that all the dirt and the grime works its way down through the sort of carpet tufts and seat fibres and sits in the bottom here. It's very difficult to vacuum it out. It's a bit like trying to get sand out of a carpet. And once the dirt and the grime sits at the bottom here, what you actually get is that the germs and the dirt starts to decay, bacteria forms, germs are created, and odour is emitted into the vehicle. And that's one of the contributory factors to losing new car smell. So again, we have to put the vehicle through a specialist cleansing process to these carpet fibres and seat fabric, and effectively then apply a protective fibre coating to all of the tufts. Once it's done that, it can't penetrate to the bottom here, so it makes it very, very easy to sort of clean and wipe stuff off. If you do spill any liquidy substance onto the surface, like coffee, a lot of coffees are milk based these days, then you'll find that the sort of liquid as spilled sits on top of the carpet, just like water sits on plastic. So again, it makes it very, very easy to wipe it off. That too gets a lifetime guarantee. When stage 2 and stage 1 are complete, we certify it online with a protection certificate. And it is really, really important that you sort of let us know, well, not so much us, but whenever you go to sell your car, whoever you're selling it to, you let them know you've had this treatment done, because it massively supports the resale value of the vehicle. And that's the end of the presentation.